Hey guys, what is up? It's Bibs7 here again, and welcome to another RuneScape 3 vlog here today. In this video, we're going to be talking about this week's game update, which did come out yesterday. I was not able to make the video yesterday. I do have someone staying over at my apartment this week, so I was just a little bit busy. But we got to get it coming out here on Tuesday. So this week we had the Bounty Hunter reward redistribution, which we did know was coming this week, and we also kind of knew all of the details of the update for the most part because of the month ahead and they were pretty transparent about the details of where things were going to be going and stuff in the in advance of the update, just to make it more easy for people to be prepared, as well as know if they wanted to try and get the items that are being moved before they got moved or not. So this was the Bounty Hunter reward redistributions, so we will pop over to Edgeville really quick here, although there's not a whole lot of content to show in the game itself. That's why we were kicking it off at the fire pit here. We are going to go ahead and check out the new Slayer Master. Of course, Mandareth has been converted into a Slayer Master. His icon is a bit off on the minimap there, not quite where he's located at, but as you guys can see, he has the get task option and stuff. I do already have a task that I don't really want to skip, but you can also check the rewards. You got your regular Slayer Master rewards and stuff. You can do your assignments and all that kind of thing from there. And then you've got your bounty rewards shop, which is a bit of a mix of what it used to be. Some things removed, some things still here. So we still have like the Revenant Drop Enhancer from here. This is still the Deathmatch shop, which is, I believe, mostly unchanged. I don't remember what exactly was in it before, but obviously Deathmatch does still exist through the hatch over there or whatever. But you've got the Slayer Bounty tab, which is new, and you can buy the first emblem for 50 Slayer Bounty points, which is SB. I don't know why they wouldn't put it down here as Slayer Bounty so you could figure out what it was, but yeah, you can basically complete this or upgrade this by completing tasks, and if you kill someone who has one, you can like absorb half of their potential into your own if you are holding one. So yeah, that is a bit of an interesting mechanic, although I don't think it'll really get people to get into PvPing all that much, to be honest. But we have SB points of 50 for the original purchase. I'm not sure how many you get from a task. Let's see if they detailed that in the update, but pretty much you can upgrade this all the way up to the tier 10 version, and once you have it at the tier 10 version, it's worth 40,000 of the SB points. You have the Ancient Warriors equipment patch in here, which is 4,000 of those points. So a tier 10 emblem would get you 10 of those. And then the 3 weapons are also 30k each. The Wilderness Hilt is 20k. 2k rather. So I'm pretty sure those are the same prices as they used to be for regular bounty points, and we have the 10 adrenaline crystals for 1k. So those are probably rising in price because they're not being botted anymore. But yeah, it looks like you need a certain amount of potential to upgrade them, and I'm not sure what that really means exactly. It's an increasing amount of potential for each Slayer task that you complete. But let's see what it says here. If you are not carrying one when you complete a task, you get the tier 1, so you don't really even ever need to buy a tier 1, or maybe you should because it'll be worth it. It says it's generally better to buy an emblem instead of earning it from a task, so that's, I guess, worth it to note that you should probably buy them from the shop instead of wasting a task completion on getting a tier 1 emblem. So if you are carrying an emblem for the entirety of your Slayer task, you gain 100 potential on the emblem that you have, and if you reach the potential required, obviously, to upgrade it, you will get the next tier of emblem. And apparently it takes 112 Slayer tasks to upgrade your emblem from tier 1 to tier 10, which is pretty ridiculous in my opinion. And also, if you get killed, it will downgrade only by 1 tier apparently. So yeah, that's worth noting. But for the potential to upgrade to go from tier 1 to 2 is about 4 tasks, 5 tasks for tier 2 to 3 or tier 1 to 2. I'm not. This table doesn't. Oh yeah, it's from tier 2 to 3 is 5 tasks. Then 6, 8 tasks for the next, 9 for the next, then 12, 15, 23, and then 30 for a cumulative total of 112 tasks to upgrade it, which is a bit insane if you ask me. But if you do get it all the way, the tier 10 emblem gives you by far the most Slayer bounty points for each task that you do, resulting it's about 350 or so SB points per task if you get all the way to tier 10. And if you don't get it all the way to tier 10, it's essentially like worthless almost in comparison. The tier 9 is about half as good as the tier 10 in terms of points per task, and then it just gets way worse from there. If you're turning in anything below a tier 8, you're kind of just wasting your time almost because of the. But even then, you only get 6,000 points for a tier 8 versus 40,000 for a tier 10, which I don't know. I feel like it's a really imbalance. It shouldn't take you over 100 tasks to get a single tier 10 emblem, but that's just my opinion on that. I think they kind of fucked it up because people are just not even going to bother doing it because that's just so many tasks that they're just not even going to be. They're like, I don't feel like doing that many tasks in the wilderness, and they're just not even going to get started on it, meaning there's no revival in the wilderness. And in general, I would think people are going to mostly ignore this, and that's just my opinion. I mean, some people might be interested in it, but I think it might be almost more dead than Bounty Hunter was just because of the way that this upgrading system works. Like, even if you got PK or like you got attacked maybe once or twice per tier, let's say, then like you could still die at any point and lose an entire tier. Like, imagine you're on tier 9 and you die, you just lost 23 tasks worth of progress on your thing. So I don't know. I think they should definitely like honestly cut in half the amount of potential you need to upgrade to each tier, and then it might be okay at like 56 tasks, although that's still a lot. I don't know. We'll have to see if they change anything in the future, but that is that. Also notably, they've removed rune pouches from these shops. You now get those through Abyss Rune Crafting, where you get some strands each time you go and go craft through there, and that is where you get those. Also, the Revenant pet is now dropped at Revenants, as well as the Revenants also drop the Ancient Warriors equipment patch while on task, which is interesting. But notably, neither of those drops are added to the Chaos Elementals collection log, thankfully, as I knew wouldn't happen because it's just the Revenants dropping them, and although you do really kill the Revenants for this log for the most part, the log is still technically for the boss, and since the boss doesn't drop them, they don't get added to the log. Other than that, the Amulet of the Forsaken, which I don't know exactly what that does. I think it has something to do with increasing your Barrow's set effects. That is now it says it's a super rare drop from the Barrow's reward chest, so I don't know how rare that really means it is, but super rare sounds a bit spooky. Let's see how those stats compare to something like my where's my Amulet of Souls or some shit. I'm just blind. I'm just gonna search it so I don't have to depress you guys. There it is. So it's actually doesn't have that bad of stats in comparison to like other amulets, but super rare apparently. And then everything else I pretty much talked about. Yep, equipment patch, bounty emblem. So in general, I mean, Bounty Hunter did need to be removed for sure, but what did I just do? Oh, I just accidentally teleported back. Well, whatever. I don't think I have anything else to show. But yeah, Bounty Hunter did need to be removed for sure, but I think they really kind of messed up on the. Like, I like the idea of the Wilderness Slayer and the potential and all that, but they just messed up on the balancing of it, if you ask me. It's just ridiculously too ridiculously high of amount of tasks that you have to do to get anything worthwhile. But yeah, they've also added some stuff to the Wilderness Shared Loot table, or at least updated. So you can now get the Wilderness Hilt rarely, the Adrenaline Crystals uncommon, and then the Fremenic Equipment Patch uncommonly, Preserved Meat commonly, Revenant Drop Enhancer rarely, a Bloodweed Seed uncommonly, and Brawling Gloves are still super rare from I think that's anything in the Wilderness can drop those things. So it's good to see that they added the adrenaline crystals on there at the very least, so they're not, hopefully they don't crash too hard. But yeah, that's basically it for the Bounty Hunter rework. It's again, I like the fact that they did it, but the balancing is super off. But you guys can let me know your thoughts in the comments. Another thing they added this week was the transmog unification interface. So now all of your transmog rings are in this interface, and I think you can just, okay. Yeah, you can just click it from within here and use it to transform into other things. So that's good because they've gone really insane with the amount of these rings that they've come out with in the past year or so, and it was getting a bit ridiculous. If you wanted to have it in your, if you wanted to use them ever, your bank would just be full of the things. So a bit crazy. Good to see that they've added that, and they had a pretty quick turnaround time on it too. And that is pretty much it for this week's update. Not super exciting stuff because it's just the bounty hunter removal, but I'm definitely kind of interested to see how prices react to the things that were changed around, like the weapons and the adrenaline crystals. As far as the patch notes, this has been the laziest patch notes they've ever made in the history of the game, because it's just an entire one section patch notes that just says patches. So really well done there. They've reached a new low of laziness, and I honestly couldn't even be bothered to read through it because every other patch is just going to be minor text fixes or some bullshit like that. So I don't think there was anything super notable in the patch notes to discuss. So just the bounty hunter reward redistribution, and that's pretty much it for this week. Should have another Hardcore Iron Man episode out this weekend, but yeah, other than that, let me know your thoughts if you think the rewards need to be changed around a little bit and balancing in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.